Welcome to Magic Gathering Strat. I am Dan and I am playing Delver against Takmiam, who is playing Izzet Post. This is a classic matchup in Pauper, and one very important. I'm not a very experienced Delver player, but I still have a 77% win percentage, which is higher than any other deck except Rotwolf Control. I do absolutely want to play first. This doesn't look like much of a hand, but I have the Delver Brainstorm thing going on, so I will keep it. Thank you, Takmiam, for being my sparring partner here. Getting rid of the upkeep stop for Ogre of Skulls. So let's see if he has the removal, or if we can just ride this Delver. Maybe we can, but we are going to need to cast the Brainstorm to find any mana, so he will have one more round to destroy it. But we could play another one, so we are probably good. Okay, let's set this up then. We want to draw the Brainstorm. So let's put a Delver. We're putting back two cards, a Delver and Brainstorm. So now we're looking at Brainstorm. Yes, I want to reveal the card. Yes. Playing this, playing another Delver. Did I just forget to attack? Okay, I'm pretty new to this deck, but that was unforgivable. Sometimes it just gets very confusing when you fuck up like that. Okay, but he hasn't killed it yet, so we're not gonna do the Brainstorm trick now because we have the counterspell, and we don't want to reveal that card. We're gonna swing for 4 then and hide behind the counterspells. And now we can kill it. And as we have the second counterspell, we are going to do the same. I do want to reveal that card. So we now have double Delver here. And we're just going to protect them and try to ride them to victory. I'm not playing Cloud Faeries as he can kill the Delver while Cloud Faeries resolve. We are gonna let Oracle resolve. And now he's tapped out. And that's a pretty good spot for us. So now we can Brainstorm. We want the card at the bottom to be an instant, such as Paris Charm. So putting Paris Charm back first, we're putting Spy Golem back because we won't be able to play him. And we are now playing another Delver. Swinging for 6. And we are pretty well set up to win this, as we know this Delver will flip. And I'm gonna counter that. And he probably has some measure against that counterspell. But if he does, he will die anyway. He's stuck on mana. Of course he missed land drops here, and it's pretty critical for the Cloudpost deck. Can't do nothing about that. But we have set this up, so this Delver is flipping. Did I do it right, or did I fuck up again? No, I did it right. So that worked out pretty well. Let's see what the Delver plan say. It says Dispels and tons of Hydroblasts. We don't want Snaps, and we don't want the Piracy Charms. Pretty simple. I'm using Mezzel's Delver list as detailed in Pauper Walkthroughs episode 3 on this channel. Please look it up. It's a slower, more control-ish build of Delver. It just has better results. Mezzel has been tearing up the format with it, and I love the fact that it's not playing Ponders and Preordains, because you don't want to play sorceries in these critical first turns in which you win against control decks. So this has a much better control deck matchup, and I think it has a much better aggro matchup as well, actually. But X is the other big Delver player, and he plays very differently from this deck, so I might sleeve that deck up as well and try it. But this is the way I like to play Delver. So if he can deal with this first turn Delver, we're in a pretty bad spot. And we are slightly flooded. He has the red mana. We might even wait until turn 2 now to play this Delver, as it is so critical. So we're playing the Cloud of Fairies, the Delver, and trying to protect it. Ona's Grace is pretty nice to draw now. And here's Delver! Electricity. It's not allowed. Maybe I should have used the Dispel instead. So I'm not sure. But there we lost him. Our poor Delver. And I think we now just have to draw cards and try to get out of this bind we're in. We might counter something. He doesn't have blue mana yet, so he's not gonna outdraw us a lot, but we might outdraw him. Using this Ona's Grace. We didn't care about Cloud of Faeries. In fact, we hated them. This is interesting. Do I now gush? Think I do. And I just have a lot of counterspells. He still doesn't have blue mana. So I will obviously not play Spire Golem yet. So do I just graze? Phantasmal Bear doesn't do much, so I'm not gonna waste the draw here, and I'm gonna draw instead. Okay, now I'm gonna play Spire Golem, Phantasmal Bear, and have a counter left. And I'm gonna get rid of the Quicksand to the Grace. He has so much mana. And that guy is of course pretty bad for us. I just don't know what we do against the Crusher. It's something we have to hard counter, or just not let him get there. But we did let him get there, and so we suffered. Let's see what this ninja can dig up for us. I don't think so. It's gonna be an awful lot of digging here. I think I just have to play as many permanents as I can and try to overrun him, even though it looks pretty hard to do. Oh, yeah, that guy seals the deal. I think I'll have a hard time racing this. And there's the counterspell we sorely needed. Yeah, Crusher. Most Izzet Post decks don't play it anymore, but it was obviously quite effective here. I know from most Delver players that this is a problem matchup, but I didn't think it was Crusher that was the problem. I thought it was just all the sweet removal and stuff. I wish I could still have... oh my god. No! Not okay. And I got to sacrifice the Spy Golem and an island here. Oh, of course, I can't save him. And it's over. So let's move on to the third game. What about the boomerangs? We are not playing boomerangs. Why are we not? No room. We're only playing boomerang against the temporal fissure decks. Another messed up hand. But I guess Phantasmal Bear stayed in the deck after Storm disappeared, and it was very much an anti-Storm card. But I think it does have a purpose here as well, as a quick clock. And of course an enabler for the second turn ninja that I will now draw. Except that I didn't. I now have a Hydroblast that can't defend the bear. Spire Golem exclude, yes, his creatures won't be coming yet. And if he fails to find the red mana, but I expect Prophetic Prism and Electrostatic Bolt and the Dead Bear. And here we go, Bear is now dead. We have a dead bear in our hands, on our hands. So this guy we could protect, so we are probably not playing him yet. We could see Muldrifter here, would be an awesome counter. But maybe a Seagate Oracle. Hitting the exclude here would be super great. Cloud of Fairies! He's pyroblasting the Cloud of Fairies. Do we let that happen? Then we'll have mana for the exclude, so I guess we do. Stop it. But it has to dispel, so we lost our counterspell mana due to a war over Cloud of Fairies. So we should have let them go as soon as they were countered. Because the Muldrifter that will hit the table now, but there is no Muldrifter. And it's Spire Golem, Counterspell, Brainstorm if nothing else. So what about teachings? It's okay, I guess. Can't counter it. Need to counter this thing he casts instead. With all that mana. Which is probably a Flame Slash. Harvest Fire. So do we actually want to protect the Spy Golem? Yeah, we need to have a clock, but how much of a clock is that? He has the ability to take care of any creature I play now. So I'm not sure. And I might have to let it go. I want to keep exclude man open. He did. Let it live. Just flashing back the teachings. For Pyroblast. So, brainstorm, what do we put back? I think it's Delver Counterspell. So now I have double Counterspell for this. But we can only Counterspell one ninja. Then we know he has Pyroblast, Harvest Pyre. Let's see what he does. He's letting the Spy Golem live. I want to hit something with exclude counterspell, but it's not happening. He's just hanging back. We're letting the Delver die here. Oh, he didn't have the cards for the Harvest Pyre. Ah, I see. So now I probably have to use the ninja or lose the opportunity to do so. Now I can double protect it. So now I'm going ninja. Also, the ninja, the Spy Golem is free now the second time around. So here's ninja. Return curfew to hand. Okay. That just cost him a card, and I'll do the same next turn. Curfew doesn't look like a very good sideboard card against Delver. He's Harvest Pyring here with... what happened? And do we protect? I don't think we are protecting it. I want to stop him casting a Muldrifter. That's the thing I'm most afraid of. So I'm letting this go. He only has 2 cards in hand, one of which is Pyroblast. Spellstat sprite for the Pyroblast. That's pretty good. But in the long run, he is winning here. Cloud of Fairies look pretty good, so we are putting Island Cloud of Fairies. Drawing the Cloud of Fairies, playing Island, playing Cloud of Fairies. Untapping some land. It's a pretty decent ninja target next turn. Oh, now we have quite the counterspell army. And it's Ninja of the Deep Hours! Let's spell stutter that. And we will now have an active ninja. That is hitting him. Oh, wow! He is flickering Glimmer Post and Prophetic Prism, drawing a card, getting some lives. Do we counter this? And why didn't we play the Cloud of Fairies? Yes, we are countering this. And we are counter spelling Seagate Oracle as well. This looks pretty good. 3 counter spells in hand, drawing a card. Nice. This deck is just crazy good. Okay. Ninja number 2 for the spell status sprite is just plain broken. And he has 7 lives, so this bear should do it. And we'll exclude the wall. That's pretty nice. And here we are again. We'll do it one more time. This will be one of the most important matchup videos. And yes, I want to play first. I got the Delver, I got the Brainstorm. So let's put some early pressures. I even have double Delver. And pre-sideboard he doesn't have. He has just 1 electric in main deck, I suppose. I am gonna flip the Delver. I'm not gonna overcommit with 2 Delvers before the first one has flipped. There's the red mana he needs. Okay, let's try to do this complicated thing. Oh my god, no mana. So let's put a Delver and a Piracy Charm there. Yes. He is now a Flip Delver. Mr. Flip Delver. But next turn he's gonna be a very dead Delver. Sadly. So much red mana. Can't do anything about that. Well, just playing more Delvers seems to be the way to go. And watch them perish. Get rid of his cards. No, I'll do that later. Now I want to play a Delver again and see if he sticks. Which is probably way too much to ask. Okay, all the Delvers are dead. He's not drawing any cards yet. But here we go. And I don't have mana for my exclude. And there is one of those damned Cloudposts. No Muldrifter. Taking the beats. Okay. Making him discard. I don't know what else to do with the Paris Charm. I guess there's sort of a finisher for Spy Golem or so, but they look pretty bad. Ninja! Yeah, there is a very long time before I can protect that ninja. So I guess I should just go for it. I can see a lot of stuff going wrong here. So at least he can't counter it. And it doesn't have the removal. That's pretty nice. And discard another card for him. Flicker. Then he'll probably find something to finish off the poor ninja. Such as double Oracle. But this is a pretty nice terror balance, and I could be good with this. A Glimmer Post, just 2 cards left in his library. In his hand, I mean. So I think just hanging back and casting Exclude. Oh. Oh my god. He discards Mana Leak because he just doesn't want it. And there that guy dies, but he's down to 1 card. And I think I'll play the Cloud of Fairies and be happy to sit back and hide behind counter mana. Because I do have 4 cards while he has 2. He has the teachings, but he can't flash it back without a prophetic prism. I'll attack. And cast those funky Cloud of Fairies. And keep hiding behind my counterspell wall. I'm gonna counter a Muldrifter. Electricura will counter. All those snaps, what do I need them for? Well, my counterspell mana is not too hard to overwhelm. He does have mana left for a Muldrifter, so I'd much rather counter that than the research. Especially with exclude. And he discards a Muldrifter. But didn't have any lands to discard. Here we go. I'm gonna try to exclude this, but it obviously will not work. And then it's game. So he just had to wait and be sure to be able to counter my counter. And then he wins the counter wars. We also learned that 1 ninja hitting while Seagate Oracle is on the field doesn't do much. And all these fancy counterspells without any islands doesn't do much either. And snap is really bad. Because I don't want to snap any of those guys. I'll play the spell status sprite at the end of his turn. But I'm not sure to what end. Wait a minute, I could have blocked and killed one of them, right? Yeah. But then I would have no mana left. Spell status sprite. And he lives. Oh my god. The best thing I can hope for here is something I can spell stutter, then I can block the Muldrifter. But that looks like an expensive card. Capsize. Yeah. And of course he will just capsize that. Or not. Okay. Well, that wasn't very fun for the Delver deck. We are bringing in the Dispels and the Hydroblasts. We are taking out the Snaps and the Paris Charms. And we are now much heavier on the counter department. So let's see what we can do. Playing first. This looks like a pretty good hand. He takes a mulligan to 6. We get to put early pressure on him. I feel like it would be better here to protect the Delver with the spell stutter sprite instead of flipping it. With the Brainstorm, but I'm not sure at all. I'm gonna try that this time. I not want to reveal that card. Because this Delver is so critical. And he doesn't have the red mana. So now we can play the spell stutter sprite. We can flip the Delver. So putting back an island Hydroblast. Revealing Hydroblast. Playing the island. Now hiding behind Hydroblast and spell stutter protection. So the ninja isn't very interesting right now. And he stumbles on mana, and when you do against this deck, you should perish. There could be an Alamog next turn, so I'm just gonna hang back and counter stuff and do 4 points of damage every turn. And I want to have the exclude for the Alamog's Crusher. But it doesn't come. And nothing has changed. I'm just doing 4 points a turn and being happy about it. He now has 9 mana, so next turn he can play Alamog and protect it with the counterspell, but it will be too late. I think. He's gonna do Mystical Teachings, we'll allow that. The Electrostatic Bolt is good because you can counter it with the Hydroblast. can't cast it. So why did he go for it? Oracle is okay, because it doesn't stop the Delver. And curfew doesn't really stop the Delver either, so I guess we'll allow that. Still haven't seen anything that stops the Delver. There's the Prism, and I think it could be a good thing to counterspell the Prism. He has only 1 mana left. And he really needs the Prism. Yep, that's game. And we are 1-1. It's tight games all the time. So let's see. How about this last game? This will be the final match of Mezzel Delver versus Izzet Cloudpost. What kind of hand is this? There is counters, there's land, there's card draw, there's a Delver. I don't think I can send this back. But this Delver will just die. And I don't think I can play him now. I would love to double protect the Delver. Maybe this guy can draw some counter spells. I'll draw some burn. And then we have Delver with double protection. Yeah, I think that's the way we're gonna do it. And here is Delver of Secrets. Mana leak. Oh. Okay. How many times can the Delver die? He has a ton of mana now, and he can play Muldrifter, which sort of destroys my whole world. And I can't counter a Muldrifter. So I might just have been doing everything wrong. That guy is of no consequence. Against the Delvers, he is the Ninja Stopper. And the Stopper of Bears. The Slayer of Bears. But no burn. Let us gush. Hydrolast or Dispel? I think it's Hydrolast. Protect or not? No, I think I need to save the counters for the Delver, so I'm not gonna do it. Now I am. So I got the 4 damage on the table. I have double counterspell to protect it. So let's just ride this train and see what comes of it. Of course, one Muldrifter just stops me now. Again. Six cards in his hand. Even more counterspells. We are still trying to ride these guys to the victory. Do we now deploy someone on the ground to keep Seagate Oracle at home? What have we earned by that? Not much. He is casting a Harvest Pyre and we are Hydroblasting it. Next turn we can exclude something. But he could have cast he could cast Alamog right now. And we can't do anything about it. And it's questionable whether we will be able to exclude stuff. There's the Ninja, but that's overkill if there ever was. So we'll just keep beating down here. And now we are sitting behind Exclude and Dispel. So we can actually counter an Alamog. And we can counter the counter. More mana means that we just have another counterspell, right? Because we are now winning. And we should be hiding behind our counters. He's capsizing. But capsize is very good to get in the yard either way, so we'll counter that. But he has a sick amount of mana, and now we can't counter the counter to exclude if the counter is not a Pyroblast. So what about the Muldrifter? We still need to exclude the Muldrifter, right? Because it puts a stop to everything. And here is where things get tricky. And if he has a Condescend or Mana Leak now, he has won the counter war. There will be a Muldrifter on the table. Okay. So he's looking for the other counterspell. Muldrifter is still happening. And yes, it does. And that's pretty critical, and that's probably where we lost the game. it was an evoked Muldrifter. I didn't even notice. Okay. I was so sure that it was a real Muldrifter. Well, I have no reason to not ninja anymore. Play these fairies. And then I have Hydroblast Spell Status Sprite, which could be good enough. So I'm not playing anything more. He's Glimmer posting himself back to 19. Why is he attacking? Doesn't he want to stop the ninja? Probably has another one. I'm gonna brainstorm at the end of his turn here. Keeping mana open, or am I? The question is here, do I actually let this happen? I don't think so. And I didn't want to brainstorm there because I still have the Hydroblast. And I'm drawing cards with a ninja! That's the road to victory. I'm setting myself up for Electrickery, but I do have the brainstorms. I am going all in now. Let's see what happens. Teachings, I can't do anything about teachings. So it could teachings for Electrickery and for Counterspell. But even with Electrickery, he's still taking a lot of damage. Mysteries of the Deep. So what now? Well, I only have the counterspell, so I only need to keep one blue mana open, so I can actually cast this Brainstorm. I guess I could wait for the land. Alright, that's a pretty savage beating actually. You're not dead yet, are you? Yeah. Alright, thank you for watching Magic Gathering Strat. I've been playing Mezzel against Izzet Cloudpost. One of the biggest and most important matchups in the Pauper format. And yeah, not the best matchup for Delver. I managed to pull it through here, but and I know the mistake I did in the start. Tell me about what else you think of this matchup and what is important to think about for both players. Thank you for watching Magic Gathering Strat. I'm Dan.